The African sun dipped towards the western horizon, painting the vast savanna in fiery hues of orange. The fading light did little to alleviate the lingering heat rising from the earth. In the quiet of the late afternoon, the eerie whoops of a hyena clan echoed, tearing through the usual tranquility. John, an American ranger with a decade of experience working in the sprawling wildlife reserve of East Africa, drove his familiar white patrol jeep across the tall grasslands. He was accustomed to the sounds of the African night, but today, mingled with the chilling howls, he heard a faint, frightened cry. A gut feeling told him something was wrong, and John pressed down on the accelerator. The jeep roared to life, speeding along the dirt track, a cloud of red dust billowing behind. He strained his eyes, trying to pinpoint the desperate plea. Then he saw it. Under the dimming twilight, a horrifying scene unfolded. A pack of aggressive hyenas, with their mangy fur and sharp teeth, surrounded a small creature. It was a lion cub, perhaps only a few weeks old, lying huddled on the ground, feebly trying to fend off its numerous predators. The lion cub's weak growls were almost drowned out by the excited yelps of the hyenas. John didn't hesitate for a second. He slammed on the brakes, the jeep screeching to a halt, a cloud of dust engulfing the scene. As quick as lightning, he flung open the door and leaped out, a tranquilizer gun in his hand. The sudden appearance of the vehicle and the tall man startled the hyenas. They snarled, their lips curling to reveal sharp teeth, but hesitation was evident in their darting eyes. John roared, waving the gun in their direction. The loud noise and his resolute stance made the hyenas pause, then slowly retreat, melting into the shadows of the nearby bushes. John rushed to the lion cub's side. It lay still, its soft, downy fur coated in dust and blood. A deep bite mark on its hind leg was oozing. Its large, round eyes stared blankly at John, reflecting pain and utter fear. He gently scooped up the tiny lion. It trembled in his arms, its small body fragile and pitiful. John carefully placed it on the passenger seat, then quickly drove back to the ranger station. At the station, John and his colleagues meticulously cared for the little lion. They cleaned the wound, applied antiseptic, and fed it milk. Over the next few days, its health gradually improved. John named him Simba, which meant lion in Swahili. Simba grew up under the watchful eyes of John and the other rangers. He became strong and playful, but always remained close to John, the man who had saved his life. John, in turn, developed a special bond with Simba, considering him a friend, a son. Time passed and Simba gradually matured. His soft fur was replaced by a golden mane, a thick, dark fringe beginning to frame his powerful neck, the unmistakable sign of a majestic male lion. When he reached adulthood, Simba was released back into the wild, returning to the untamed world he belonged to. John continued his daily patrols. He loved his work, the stunning landscapes, and the incredible wildlife of the reserve. Although Simba was back in the wild, John often thought of him, the tiny cub he had rescued years ago. Several years after Simba's release, John was driving his familiar white jeep on his regular patrol. One bright morning, as he traversed a sparsely wooded area, a large shadow suddenly leaped out in front of his vehicle, blocking his path. John instinctively slammed on the brakes. Standing before the jeep was a fully grown male lion, its thick, dark mane flowing in the breeze and its amber eyes blazing. The size and regal bearing were awe-inspiring. The lion growled, a deep, powerful rumble that echoed through the bush. John's heart pounded in his chest. He had never faced a fully grown male lion at such close range. He cautiously observed the animal, trying to assess the situation. It didn't seem overtly aggressive, but it showed no sign of moving. As John pondered his next move, the lion surprisingly lowered its head and nudged its muzzle against the front tire of the jeep. Then it raised its head, looked directly into John's eyes, and let out a soft rumble, not a threat, but almost a greeting. A strange feeling flickered in John's mind. He studied the lion intently, trying to discern something familiar. The distinctive dark mane, the imposing physique, and then those amber eyes, deep and seemingly filled with a silent gratitude. Suddenly, the lion turned its head towards the front of the jeep, then looked back at John, gesturing as if urging him to look. John hesitated but slowly lowered his window. He followed the lion's gaze. A few seconds later, a loud crash reverberated through the air, the ground trembling. The earth directly in front of the jeep, just a few feet from the front bumper, had collapsed, revealing a deep, gaping hole. John realized with a jolt of terror that if the lion hadn't stopped him, his jeep would have plunged into this deadly chasm. The lion turned back to John, letting out a soft growl as if to say something. Then it slowly backed away, clearing the path for the jeep. John was still in shock, unable to fully comprehend what had just happened. He carefully drove around the dangerous sinkhole, his mind racing with questions and gratitude. As he glanced in his rearview mirror, the lion stood there, watching his vehicle until it disappeared behind the trees. It was then that a memory flooded John's mind. Those amber eyes, that dark, distinctive mane, they were all too familiar. A wave of astonishment washed over him. The lion that had just saved his life was none other than Simba, the tiny cub he had rescued from the hyenas all those years ago. A mix of emotions surged through John. He felt amazement, profound emotion, and above all, a deep respect for this wild creature. He had never imagined that his small act of kindness years ago would be repaid in such a miraculous way. The story of the lion that saved the ranger quickly spread throughout the reserve. Everyone was astonished and deeply moved by the extraordinary bond between John and Simba. It became a living testament to the fact that compassion and kindness could transcend the boundaries of species. John continued his work, but in his heart, he now carried an even deeper belief in the wonders of nature and the mysterious connections between humans and animals. He knew that somewhere in the vast savanna, a majestic lion was watching over him, a friend he had saved long ago, and their story became a beautiful legend, retold through generations of rangers in the African reserve.